Hello, everybody, and welcome to all of you. It's so nice to see such a big crowd attending and from all over the U.S. I so feel honored to spend this special time with you. You know, we really are in a time of awakening, a time where there's so much courage out there to really explore who am I really and what is the truth? What is the deeper truth of reality? So I hope you stay tuned to the end, and I'll offer you 3 bonus gifts that will help launch you to really discover that next level of skill and awakening you're looking to find. I can't wait to spend this time offering comprehensive and rare information on subtle energy. You won't find many people that know what I'm going to share with you today, and certainly there aren't many places you can find this level of advanced information in a short amount of time. So good on you for joining us today. Yet, if you have questions I don't address, I will post this webinar on my blog, and there's a comment section below. Please ask me questions and I'll answer them. And I really want you to get everything you can from this webinar today. And if you haven't already checked it out, I have a best-selling book on Amazon right now entitled Explorer's Mind, A Map to Freedom. And it's currently at a discount price if you buy it in the next few days. It's actually a workbook as well as a book, so it has plenty of exercises for you to practice this if you're so inclined. And for those of you that don't know me personally, let me provide you with a little bit of background information on my credentials, on how did I learn all this stuff and how have I become an authority over the years on subtle energies. You see, it's actually my greatest passion. I started studying about subtle energy when I lived in Nepal, and I studied Reiki and Thai massage and meditation, many forms of meditation. And then I've also studied Qigong, healing touch, various degrees of Reiki, various forms of body-centered psychotherapy. I'm a licensed professional counselor, have my MA. I got that about 10 years ago. And I think I studied, my first Reiki class was about 20 some years ago. And then I also studied with Barbara Brennan at the Barbara Brennan School of Healing. She has taught me so much, and I just offer so many kudos and shout outs to her amazing, amazing work and the amazing person she was. So before we begin, let's start with a meditation. And let's really center ourselves. So I want you to kind of bring your conscious awareness, connect breath and awareness to the top of your head. In this country, too many of us have our energy stuck in our head. We think too much. So I want you to imagine on a warm day, the dewy rain of the energy coming down from the top of the head, drifting down to your cheeks, your jaws. Once again, big breath, breathe from the lower abs, breathe in. And really let that energy drip down through your neck, your shoulders, relaxing any tension. And your shoulders give a relax down. The energy fill your heart, drip down, down, down to the stomach area. A couple more really big, deep breaths through the lower abs, filling the lower abs, the middle, and the upper chest. And let my warm, loving energy really breathing in. With energy, time and space doesn't exist. Let me help bring you deeply, deeply grounded into the warm comfort, the essence of your being. One more breath. Yeah, really, really nice. Really, really nice. Now, in this next part, I want you to stay connected to this calm breathing, Find an image that helps you kind of breathe into the body and the cells, the beauty of your spiritual wholeness, which I call your core being. And then I call it engaging the explorer's mind. Have a part of you kind of noticing in a very detached, detective-like way, so you keep your resonance high. What is the pain in your life? For instance, is it finances, relationships, health, career? Do you want more friends? To fall in love? Do you want less toxicity and challenge in your life? What is it you are looking for? Really notice what tends to feel stressful and overwhelming and that can bring you down. Or as I say, what is the pain? Because as you can identify and locate that pain, the energetics of it, which I'll help you at least get clues to today, if not actually find, as you learn how to transform that painful frequency back to the bliss and wholeness and wisdom of who you are, you actually transform pain to power. There is this amazing quantum subtle energy reality that holds the deeper truth. And as you connect to the blocks and distortions, and get the skills, I teach 5 spiritual laws, 5 skills and steps. So pain transforms to power. So take a moment to really understand what is that painful disconnect in your life. And I'll help you discover a little bit more about how to transform it. This is fundamentally what we'll be exploring today, because those sensitive, painful energies can move us in the wrong direction. So naming, owning, and claiming can help you then move into a better direction. Because who are you really? If you're talking about subtle energies, I believe you get to decide who you are and who you are evolving to become once you know how. You could feel that you are that emotional pain, that defines your value and worth. But maybe, just maybe, you are so much more than what you can conceive yourself to be. Yes, the human brain body systems can go to those lower frequencies and forget the truth of our brilliance, our core being. So what is enlightenment? I say it's resonating back to your true self, your core being, throughout the day. You catch yourself losing yourself, you come back. Lose yourself, come back. Because enlightenment is just a breath away. So how do you get there, right? So we're yelling at our partners are yelling at us, we go into distortion, we go into profound forgetting. But if you take a moment to just step 1 of what I teach is awareness, to be aware, right? Just to be aware of, wow, I'm not in my bigger self. I am not in my core being. And really be aware of what that feels like in terms of your energy system, your chakras, your central channel. We'll talk a lot about this next. So be aware of the energy that you're engaging at and with when you engage with your relationship to yourself and your relationship to others. Because what moves you in the right direction, right? Do you have a little part of yourself that's a nippy dog, kind of being mean to you, nipping at your heels, saying you're not doing this right, you're not doing that right? What moves you in the right direction? That's what I want to hold space for today, because as you're aware of your energy system and the ability to move around those quantum particles of energy, then you can start really being in control of your life, directing yourself in the right direction. So how do you know which energy healing method is best? I mean, that question I get asked many times. There are so many forms of energy healing. When I first started this work, there weren't a lot of different orientations or modalities of energy healing, but there's so many. So how do you know which one to choose from? So I'm going to talk a little bit about what you might want to look for in an energy healing program. One of the things I want to talk about is that energy is consciousness, and it connects the mind with the body. So if you have a subtle energy healing program that really looks at what is the consciousness, what is the negative belief, what is the sense of self, what is the actual emotion of the energetics, then that is a really, really helpful system. Another thing you want to consider is, does that energy system work through the physical body? Because the latest in brain science shows that you can't change unless you change your brain. And so I find a lot of energy practices work off the body. And you don't have to touch the physical body to touch and transform energy within the body. Yet a lot of these practices, I personally would like to see the students have more support in actually assessing how deeply in their client's body is the energy transforming. Can they track that level of subtle energy awareness to sense, wow, can I sense there's a block in the center of, for instance, the bone marrow? Can you sense if the energy affects the bone marrow? What is the ability of the energy to actually shift the consciousness in that area if it held a negative belief? So those are the kind of things that I personally would find valuable. And, you know, I loved Reiki and I studied Reiki, and the energy is amazing. But I did study with Barbara Brennan to take it to more of a deeper level like this. And in my own work and in my own school that I teach, I really, really empower the students to be aware of as much as possible, to go as deep as possible, and really be able to sense and assess if the energy in themselves and their client has shifted at that deeper quantum level through the physical body. It's called the first level of the field. Barbara Brennan talks a lot about that, and I'll give you actually an animation of what that first level of the field looks like. So yeah, I would say look for a healing energetic modality that really goes to those upper frequencies. Yes, they're very healing, but also brings those upper frequencies down into the physical body and contract that at that very subtle level. I'm often asked what energy or meditation practice is best for me. And, you know, I just want to repeat what I just said about energy healing practices. I think you do need to be aware of the body and not just meditate in the mind. And for meditation, it is really an energetic practice. So anytime you meditate, you're actually well, all the time you're actually influencing your energy system. So I would love for you, when you meditate, to be aware of that quantum level, the effects of your meditation on, I call it the MEBE work system, the mind, energy, body systems, all three of them. How does that meditation practice influence the MEBE work system? Is it positive? Is it supportive? And is it loving and kind? I think we need to really look at, does our meditation practices create a rewounding energy within us? Or does it support our awakening and self-identification of who we really are at that core being level? So is there a right way to balance chakras? That's another question I get asked. So let's consider this. I'm going to show you animation of how chakras spin. They spin clockwise, and there's various ways to learn how to spin your chakras. When they're spinning clockwise, and there's chakras in the front of the body and the back of the body, and they hook in through the center of the body through a central channel. And as you learn how to balance and spin your chakras, you actually are feeding energy, nurturing your energy system, your physical body, by the chakras spinning clockwise. Now, there are reasons that a chakra should spin counterclockwise at times, but that's kind of advanced. And yeah, do a private session, or call me for a quick call, or come. I'm teaching a Brennan workshop in a couple weeks. Come to the Brennan workshop and we'll talk more about that. But chakras spin clockwise, front and back, and it's as if the clock was facing outward, and it is as if, if you take your right hand and you put your thumb in the center of the chakra, the way your fingers spin around is clockwise. In essence, it spins towards your left shoulder in front and to your right shoulder and back. Check out this video. See, it's spinning to her left shoulder in front, and she'll turn, and you'll see how it's spinning to the right shoulder and back. And it'll turn to the side and show you more clearly too. Right? Kind of cool. We'll talk a little bit more about chakras too. So chakras, each chakra is an energetic vortex bringing in energy to feed your organs, to feed your emotional system, to feed your health. And each chakra has a different emotional issue and a different emotional gift. So I'm going to lead you through a quick assessment of your chakra system. And I want you to kind of guess which chakras might hold that pain, and what chakras do you intuitively feel hold wholeness. And I'm pretty gifted, whether you're in the room with me or not, in assessing what's happening with your chakra system. So, feel free to reach out and I can support you along the way. So right now I want you to bring your conscious awareness to your seventh chakra in the top of the head. Just kind of breathe into it and just, what is the feeling and sense? Do you spend a lot of time there? Is it a gift? The seventh chakra senses energy through direct knowing. Each chakra senses energy differently. Seventh chakra is about wisdom, divine mind. So if you sometimes just know what's happening, that means you're sensing energy through your seventh chakra. Barbara Brennan taught me this, and it's an amazing system. let's come down to the sixth chakra. Just kind of see the front and the back of the sixth, which feels lighter, flowing, which feels heavier. The front of the sixth deals with ability to conceive ideas, and the back of the sixth is to implement them. So if you're good at creating ideas but not implementing them, maybe you need some extra support in the back of the sixth. And it's how you see energy. You can see it directly, or you can just see it symbolically. Kind of assess your sixth chakra. Okay, let's come down to the fifth chakra, the front and back. The front of the fifth chakra, it deals with speaking your truth. The back of the fifth chakra deals with your place in society. And the way you sense energy through the fifth chakra is you hear, taste, and smell. You actually can channel through the sixth chakra. When I channel using the seventh chakra of direct knowing, and I hear it in my fifth chakra. And yes, you can smell energy. Once my son, I was teaching a Barbara Brennan weekend. This was many years ago, and my son, I said, put the pizza in the oven and I'll be right home. And in my car driving, I could smell the burnt pizza. I had forgotten to set the timer. So yes, the quantum reality is true, and you can smell pizza in your car when your son burns the pizza and forgets to put on the timer. So fourth chakra, it deals about love and relationships. And you can actually sense past lives through the fourth chakra, any ancestral lineage challenges, emotions about relationship and love. The fourth chakra is the heart chakra. So the third chakra, it's where you sense energy. You intuitively know it, is that gut knowing. Your ego is actually held in the third chakra. So if you or your client's ego is like going crazy, have them put their hand on their third chakra and kind of breathe love and kindness to them, and they can come quicker out of defense and or out of collapse. So learning how to work your own ego through the third chakra or your clients is really, really valuable. You can actually, like when a client comes into my office, I can assess their chakra system and I can tell what is the consciousness that's most asking for love, support, and transformation. And that's a skill everybody can have. And I'd love to support you in really learning how to assess your own field. And if you don't have a private practice, it's nice to know what's happening with your partner, your friend, your loved ones, your boss, and learn how to self-regulate around it, because you can tell, wow, I can sense that his wife just kicked him out of the house this morning. Maybe I shouldn't ask him for a raise. You know what I mean? So the third chakra is where the ego is held. It deals with intuition. The front of the third chakra is your place in the universe, and the back of the third chakra deals with your relationship to self-healing and health. The second chakra deals with emotions. If you're sensing energy of emotions, for instance, my cat came in and I could sense she was really, really angry. She was sad that she wanted different food this morning, and I made her eat the food that I put out, and she was like really angry, and I was sensing her emotion through my second chakra. But isn't that a useful task? You know, when you walk into a coffee shop, even for practical life, and you're trying to figure out what table to sit at, and you sense the energy of the people around you, you want to pick a table that has more joyful, high vibrational energy than to sit next to somebody that's holding really angry, contracted energy. So the first chakra is really about your life task. in some ways, the second chakra is where you come into your personal power to implement your life task in the first chakra. And you sense energy through kinesthetic, through touch, tingles, flows, cold, heat, coherency is through that first chakra. So as somebody who's incarnating, I believe that we incarnate more and more of our wholeness into the physical body. There isn't just like an incarnation process, but every breath, every moment can be an incarnation process. So as I asked you in the beginning of this to come in to your body, I was asking really for you to incarnate more of your core being, your wholeness, into the physical body through that seventh chakra. So as you incarnate that wisdom and knowing through the seventh chakra, you can incarnate more the lower you go in your body. You can get that insight through the sixth chakra. You can come into your own authority through the fifth chakra. The fifth chakra deals not only with telling your truth, but really, can you hold your own authority? When somebody says you're no good, do you assess your own value? Do you let your emotions, your dysregulated, your wounded parts assess your own value? Or do you let your core being assess your own value? And that's through the fifth chakra. And then you come into the fourth, where you can feel safe and trust and be in that loving, unconditional love place. And then you come into the third chakra, you shift the negative ego, come all the way, incarnate down to that second chakra where the emotions are. And then you can really awaken to that personal power to implement your life task in the first chakra. So when a client comes in, I can tell which are how deeply they're connected to their body, and the lower they can be present in their body, the more personal work they've done. So if you're dating somebody and you want to know whether to go out on a date, if his energy's only in his head and it's not down into his pelvis and his lower body, or if the energy in their lower body is all distorted, you might want to cut the date short, unless it's an unusual event. We all have a basic baseline of our energy field that we can work to create a higher baseline. So it's important to know your own baseline and, set a plan. Use me, find the support you need to raise your baseline to the next level. So another question I'm often asked is, what happens about those negative thoughts that loop and loop and loop? What about anxiety? It hurts so much. And so this is where you can learn how to shift the third level of the field, that is the mental level. It's an energetic frequency. Again, Barbara Brennan taught me about the third level of the field. And if the energy is too thin or too thick, it creates a distortion. Yet you can learn the 5 skills, 5 steps, and 5 spiritual laws to transform that mental level of the auric field, where you hold those looping thoughts or unclear thoughts or lack of wisdom, and return back to the beauty of your core being. Because in that quantum reality, anything is possible. In Newtonian physics, a table's a table. There's limiting beliefs. Everything is solid. So when let's say you turned in a project really bad, or you made a mistake with a client, or you had a fender bender, or you forgot to pay that bill, or you weren't as kind and loving to your husband or kids as you would have wanted to be. That is a quantum reality that can shift. It's not solid. It doesn't have to define your value. That's the big thing I'd love. It's my passion in life. I used to be a lobbyist in Washington, D.C., helping poor people. So I'm a real advocacy type person, and I want to advocate for you to not be defined by the negative reality you're currently experiencing. It's just particles of energy, that painful emotion, that feeling of betrayal, that feeling of insecurity, that feeling of being lost, drowning in your pain will shift. And as you learn how to feel it, can shift quicker, because feeling is not always healing. You have to learn how to feel it at that quantum reality. And so please do not be abused by those negative emotions and beliefs. Let me help you learn how to feel, so that quantum reality actually is the energetic portal. Pain is the portal back to wholeness. Love to help you learn learn how. So, where are negative beliefs and trauma held in the energy system? That's the big question. If you can find it, you can heal it. So, negative beliefs about yourself are held in the second level of the field. They're also held in the chakras in the physical body. And negative beliefs about relationships are held in the fourth level of the field. So in the beginning of this webinar, what were the issues that you listed? Did they deal with relationships? Did they deal with your feelings about yourself? Because that will give you a clue about it. So I had a client that walked into my office, and her fourth level of the field was just torn, and her second level of the field was shattered. And I could tell that she and her boyfriend had just broken up before she even said anything. It's powerful being able to sense that sort of thing and then be able to guide them. I think the thing that my clients say about the work with me, and my students say about the work with me, is they feel seen, because I can track them at such a deep and profound level and help them awaken to their own blocks and their own inner saboteur and blinders to what they wouldn't have seen if I couldn't see the energy of it all. So here's the fourth level of the field. There's like mucus relationship issues. Past lives are on the fourth level of the field, ancestral lineage stuff, and you can transform that fourth level of the field. Transform in such a beautiful way, right? That's my hope and beauty for you. And here's the second level of the field. It's the same colors as the chakras, and it too can transform those negative emotions. Yeah, 5 steps, 5 skills, and 5 spiritual laws that I teach. Really cool, huh? So, some more common questions I'm asked. Does food bring in good or bad energy? Does it matter what I eat? And I think this day and age, the gluten-free day and age, I think you understand that the food you eat does influence not only your physical health, but your energetic health. I used to be big into Carlos Castaneda, and I remember reading in the books that Don Juan, his shaman teacher, could eat anything because his energy field was so brilliant. Well, not many of us can do that. You do need to be aware of what is right for your body. Another question is, how can I use subtle energy to get rich? Well, the good news is I know many rich people that have a really, really awful energy field. In fact, they're defensive, they're kind of narcissistic, they're, not necessarily people you want to be around. They can use more defensive energy, grabbing energy to get rich. But I don't recommend that. I would rather you use the higher frequencies of following your passions, of knowing who you really are, because your current sense of self creates your reality. If you have a sense of self that is more poverty defined or insecure, it can affect your financial wealth. So change your sense of self, anchor deeper into your core being, and yeah, you can use subtle energy to get rich, but in a healthy, positive way that actually helps the world. So remember I told you I'd show you a picture of the first level of the field? So energy comes in through the higher frequencies, and the first level of the field is the densest level. It's the level that I personally have the most challenge with, because the upper levels, we all like to escape to the bliss of the higher frequencies, but real healing happens when you bring those higher frequencies of your wholeness, of your true self, of health, wealth, and well-being in to the physical body, in the densest levels of the physical body. Kind of cool, huh? So these grid-like structures of the mental level of the field, the yellow, remember the yellow grid was the third level of the field, the mental level. This is the first level of the field, the blue grid. They are a grid-like structure, and if you're familiar with Qigong and the acupuncture and the meridian system, the meridians are the big pipes of where energy flows. There's 12 major meridians and 8 extra meridians, and the 8 extra meridians can be seen as big pipes, and the smaller meridians that relate to the lungs and the spleen and the heart and all the different organs are smaller pipes. So a question I'm often asked is acupuncture, acupressure, better or worse than hands-on healing? Some people don't like needles, so acupuncture is not necessarily the best thing. Acupuncture is not great if you don't like needles, so use acupressure. And energy healing, I think, can be. It's really about your own ability to receive. Do you want the hands-on touch? Do you want the big flows? Or do you want the pinpoint accuracy of a needle or a pressure point? And it's really about shifting your consciousness. You can go to an energy healing or an acupuncturist and feel great, but if you don't change your consciousness, 20 minutes later you're going to be in pain. So another question I'm asked often is, can somebody else's energy hurt me? How can I protect myself from evil energy? Can I take on somebody else's negative energy? Yes to both those things. So that's why I love helping people develop the skills to sense and track energy within them and transform it, because there are lower vibrational frequencies. Now, I don't know if you want to call it evil energy, but, sometimes at night I see these things fly around my room that aren't holding a lot of love and kindness toward me. But when I send my energy to them, clean the room with my expanded core being, they turn to light. So energy can transform even what somebody may call evil energy. And yes, if your field is porous, if that grid in the previous, in this, once again, that grid is too loose, too porous, you can take on all sorts of people's energy. So when I work with clients, I help them assess, is their field too porous or is it too tight? And they can't feel anything. You need that happy balance of not too tight and not too loose. So if your field is too tight, you can definitely take on somebody else's energy. And energy is a thought. So if somebody thinks badly of you, you can feel it in your energy system. It can actually send you negative energy. So having a really good outer energy egg, That's the outer energy egg that has a tight grid. It's a great way of protecting yourself. And then filling that energy egg with the bliss of your core being, your wholeness, is another really brilliant way of protecting yourself. So yeah, somebody else's energy can hurt you. You can learn how to shift it, be aware of it, and transform it. And teaching people to sense energy is my easiest job. It's because you're already doing it. All I have to do is help you know what you're already doing. So Barbara Brennan says that energy is consciousness. And she talks about the place of profound forgetting. I believe everybody's life task has to overcome that profound forgetting so you remember who you really are. That's fundamentally the life task, and that creates the higher frequencies to really change what isn't working in your life to what works. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to, I'll post it on the blog, look forward to hearing your comments and questions. Feel free to email me. I'm sending you so much love and kindness. I really want you to learn how to be kind to your human, right? Because we are spiritual wholeness. We are this amazing spiritual wholeness. And we do need to learn how to be kind to our human. Actually, if you're going to the blog anyways, I have 2 blog posts that you might want to see and comment on. One is about learning how to be kind to your human. I'm basically going to ask you to commit in the comment section of, will you commit to being kind to your human? Will you commit to self-identifying as spiritual wholeness, sending kindness and love to your human? So check out that blog. I also have a blog of a meditation on how you can connect to your core being and how to awaken the core being. And you can see that on my blog. Actually, before I tell you about the gifts, why don't we just do that? Let me guide you in a quick meditation to really access that core being vortex. There's a there's an actual vortex of your core being. Barbara Brennan calls it the core star cortex. And it's 1.5 inches above your belly button. So put your hands on your belly button. Go 1.5 inches above. It's right below the 3rd chakra. And just kind of breathe into that area and let my energy help you. Breathe and connect to the brilliance. Connecting breath with awareness. And I want you to go into the center there. And just like that, I'll go back to that core being video and play it again. That shows you that core being vortex right now. Just like an atom splits, imagine the energy igniting as you bring your awareness into that core being vortex. Imagine it the size of a pea, an atom splitting and radiating the brilliance of your core being in that area, so it expands like a balloon expands. Breathing into the center, letting that atom split of your divine essence, your brilliance, your beauty, to the size of a tennis ball. Breathing into the center, letting that atom split to the size of a volleyball. Each breath takes you back to the center. Breathing in, letting that frequency, your wholeness come in. Awaken the truth of your brilliance. Breathing in, expanding even more to the size of a volleyball, letting that bliss of your beauty, your light, your wisdom, your kindness to your human core being, sending love and kindness to the wounded parts that need you to show up for them. Breathing again into the center, letting that atom split even further. Connecting breath with awareness, surrender to receive the brilliance of you. Notice the colors. Remember, before birth, your wholeness, incarnation of light, you knew who you really were. Bring that wholeness back into the physical body. Feel it as a sensation, an emotion of truth, the true reality before you. Breathing in, connecting breath with awareness, let it spread, tingles and flows from the top of the head to the bottom of the feet, front, back, top, bottom, left, right. Allow yourself to keep that wholeness throughout the day, breathing, connecting, receiving. And gently come back in and let me tell you about some of the gifts I'm going to give you. So I'll give you a 50% discount for private sessions. You just enter 2 on the quantity and it'll automatically give you discounted sessions at mindenergybody.org at the link here on the screen, and I'll email it to you too. Like I said, June 19th through 21, I'm teaching a weekend workshop. It's great for practitioners and for anybody just wanting to awaken to the gifts of this subtle energy world. I love Barbara Brennan, and I do 2 workshops a year on behalf of her to help spread the word about her amazing work. So please come and sign up. And if you enter the discount code capital B, Brennan with a capital B, it'll give you a $50 discount off the workshop. And if you give me a shout out and email, I'll give you $50 off my mindfulness and trauma workshop. That's July 10th through 11. It's mindfulness and trauma taken to the subtle energy level. It's an amazing workshop. You learn about the 5 steps, 5 spiritual laws and skills that transform pain to power. Oh, and I just want to bow down and send you love and kindness along your way, and really, really take with you that you are so much more than the challenge before you. You might as well find out how. I call it getting that magic ticket to transform lead to gold. There is a secret code to awakening, and I look forward to supporting you along the way. Blessings and joy. Aho.